The freeze on USAID funding for independent media outlets in Russia and Ukraine has sent shockwaves through the journalism communities in both countries, raising concerns about the future of press freedom and the ability of independent voices to survive in increasingly authoritarian and conflict-ridden environments. The decision, reportedly influenced by the Trump administration's shifting priorities, has left many media organizations scrambling for alternative sources of support, while critics warn that the move could further embolden state-controlled narratives and undermine democratic values in the region. USAID, the United States Agency for International Development, has long been a critical source of funding for independent media in Eastern Europe, providing financial support to outlets that promote transparency, accountability, and democratic governance. In Russia, where the media landscape is dominated by state-controlled entities, USAID funding has been a lifeline for independent journalists and outlets that dare to challenge the Kremlin's narrative. Similarly, in Ukraine, which has been fighting Russian aggression since 2014, independent media has played a crucial role in countering propaganda and providing accurate information to the public. The freeze on funding comes at a particularly precarious time for both countries. In Russia, President Vladimir Putin's government has intensified its crackdown on dissent, with independent media outlets facing increasing pressure, censorship, and legal harassment. Many journalists have been forced to flee the country, while others operate under constant threat of reprisal. Without USAID support, the few remaining independent voices in Russia risk being silenced, leaving citizens with little access to unbiased information. In Ukraine, the situation is equally dire. The country's ongoing war with Russia has made independent journalism both essential and perilous. Media outlets that report critically on corruption, government inefficiencies, or the complexities of the conflict often face backlash from both domestic and external forces. USAID funding has been instrumental in helping these outlets maintain their independence and continue their work. The loss of this support threatens to weaken Ukraine's fragile media ecosystem at a time when reliable information is more important than ever. Critics of the USAID freeze argue that the decision undermines U.S. efforts to promote democracy and counter authoritarianism in the region. Independent media is a cornerstone of democratic societies, providing citizens with the information they need to hold their leaders accountable and make informed decisions. By withdrawing support, the U.S. risks ceding the information space to state-controlled narratives and propaganda, which could have far-reaching consequences for regional stability and global security. The freeze also reflects broader shifts in U.S. foreign policy under the Trump administration, which has been criticized for its transactional approach to international relations and its apparent disregard for traditional alliances and democratic values. While the Biden administration had sought to restore support for independent media and other democratic institutions, the recent freeze suggests a reversal of those efforts, leaving many to wonder about the future direction of U.S. engagement in the region. Remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel to stay updated. You can also like this video and share your views below. For independent media outlets in Russia and Ukraine, the challenge now is to find alternative sources of funding and sustain their operations in an increasingly hostile environment. Some may turn to crowdfunding or partnerships with international NGOs, while others may be forced to scale back their activities or shut down entirely. Regardless of the outcome, the loss of USAID's support represents a significant setback for press freedom and democratic values in the region. As the situation unfolds, the international community will be watching closely to see how independent media in Russia and Ukraine adapt to these new challenges. The stakes are high, and the consequences of failing to support these vital institutions could be felt for years to come.